So I'm delighted now to be joined by David Warrilow, who's a climate change advisor with the Royal Meteorological Society and someone that's been deeply involved in the COP process over many years. David, thank you so much for joining us and talking to the Wildlife Trust today. As I understand it, you've been to almost every COP since they started back in the early 1990s. How have they changed over that time? How's the whole process evolved?
They've got bigger, they've got more complicated, they've become much more high profile, and I would say the thing that I really notice now is just how much engagement there is from civil society.
So, I mean, what do you say to some people? There are some people that say this is all a waste of time, it's ineffective, it's not delivering and so on. What do you say to that?
No, I think it's essential. I mean, emissions are coming from every country, so unless every country is involved in negotiating, people will not do things at a government level for fear that they will be undercut by someone who's not playing the game, as it were. So it's essential to actually solve the problem to have everybody involved. It's not a regional issue; it's a global issue. I think that also it sends a signal to the wider world that because governments are negotiating and thinking about how can we solve this problem, they are also interested as well, and they'll see that this has implications for their investment, for everything that they do, and so they want to be ahead of the curve if they've got any sense.
Can you give us a sense of some of your favourite moments from COPs over the years? Whether they're the really momentous ones or just amusing moments.
COP1 was really interesting because that was the first COP where we decided that we would actually have to have a legal instrument to ensure that countries made emission reductions, which became the Kyoto Protocol. But to get there was a thing called the Berlin Mandate, and the COP was in Berlin. And the very last session, when we didn't know whether it was been agreed that it would be agreed or not, the chairperson of the COP was Angela Merkel, in fact. And so two things happened at that last session. NGOs invaded the hall, and people abseiling down from balconies. It was quite exciting, actually. Security guards running after them. And then the chairperson of the COP, Angela Merkel, gave a bit of a speech, bashed her gavel down, said, "I'm pleased to announce the Berlin Mandate." And I think parties were quite surprised because suddenly a whole lot of flags went up as if to say, we didn't ask, but it was carried. And so that was my introduction to the whole process.
Well, David Warrilow from the Royal Meteorological Society, thank you so much for talking to us at the Wildlife Trust today.